Hi, I'm Stephen McFarland,
And I'm Ben Guerin.
and we're here to talk to you about our new segment, The Art of Storytelling.
Yeah,
Today, we're going to be talking about Footloose.
all in the same cut.
We're going to be talking about the original and why is this movie being remade? I mean, yeah, why? Why the 80s? I don't understand. So, okay, let's talk about, okay, what is Footloose's, what is that, what is it today? Like, what do people think of when they think of Footloose? I think the majority of people will say that it's kind of this, it's just this fun, cheesy, very lighthearted teeny bopper movie.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with that.
But that's so not the case.
Yeah. I mean, the movie. I mean, sure, it does have its musical dancing moments.
Yeah, you're so right, Ben.
There's
the
a
lead
number
girl
of-
gets beat up.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, and she nearly gets run over by a train because she's trying to be rebellious.
Yeah, that's right.
She's a hardcore, edgy kind of gal.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the parents.
Yeah. I mean, the parents, like there's definitely a tension between the parents and the students that's very obvious throughout the whole movie. As soon as Ren comes to Beaumont, I mean, you almost feel it in like you almost feel it coming out of the movie, and it really doesn't get resolved until the end. I mean, it's an ongoing conflict, and I think that's still very relevant today because, I mean, it seems like there's always going to be that culture clash, where the older generation, the younger generation, trying to understand each other, coming from different points in life, different perspectives, and I think that's why the conflict between the parents and the younger generation is still relevant today because of that dynamic.
Yeah, you're so right, Ben. Yeah, you notice early on in the movie that Brent has read that book, Slaughterhouse-Five, and he calls it a classic, and that book has been banned in the town, and it shows you instantly that this is a town that is controlling when all of these kids have access.
Yeah, it's kind of this tension between a stereotypical Bible Belt community with this younger generation of sorts.
Yeah, and you really understand when you're watching the movie why they want to dance.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds really corny saying that out loud, but it's true. You get that sense. Most
Yeah.
of kind of like the backstory is told in dialogue, and that's all that needs to be done. You discover the backstory along with Brett
Yeah.
throughout the course of the movie, and that's really cool. And then the end dance sequence, I mean, who doesn't clap along? Come on, I know you do. Don't lie.
Oh yes, a lot of people tend to get up whenever they see that last sequence.
But
I'd probably give it a 3 because it was definitely lighthearted. I mean, it wasn't like a really deep epic or something, but it definitely dealt with some relevant issues. It was very real in a sense. Despite it being so such a musical dance-filled movie. It definitely had some significance to it, and especially if you're a young person too. I mean, it's a very very interesting movie to watch. So yeah, I'd probably rate it a 3.
oh, my rating for the original Footloose, I agree with Ben. I would give it a 3. I think it's a really solid movie. Obviously, there's some things that I don't fully like in the movie. There's some sequences that I think could have been cut out, but the thing is that most of it is really good, and the music really does fit it. It fits it in like this weird type of capsule for the 80s, but the themes that it talks about are still relevant today. What is keeping this movie that is obviously very deep and has so many themes that are so relevant and culturally relevant at that today? It's the music. the music still really lives in the 80s, and it's that teeny bopper
Yeah.
sort of thing that everybody hates. It's yeah.
And I think a lot of people consider it that clean fun thing.
Yeah, you're so right, Ben.
They want to harken back to an older time when things were cleaner and more fun, you know.
Yeah, no, Footloose was that was a rebellious movie, man.
Yeah.
I
it
mean,
was.
yeah, okay, the remake. Here's the deal with the remake. Now, obviously, as we've discussed, the things that are discussed in the story, they're so culturally relevant, and
Yeah.
obviously there's some very good things that still, I mean, they relate to us today. Why will the remake be able to reach an audience the way that the original did? And my answer right now is no. Because the problem is that if you have that deep story, but you still have that corny 80s music, which was fine for the original, because that was the 80s. This is 2011. It's not going to flow because it's going to be an uneven movie. And those are the worst kinds of movies because they have so much potential to be great, but there's something that's holding them back. It's going to be a very uneven piece.
Okay, could you cut it?